Kiara Advani, lovely to see you. You're looking resplendent. Most important question, are your family and you safe and healthy?
We are safe and healthy. Thank you. I hope you and yours are as well.
Yes, not complaining, like I said. I'm safe at home, doing the best I can. So, a homegrown Bombay girl, I'm surprised you managed to pull off a Ghaziabad accent. Did you have like a language coach to work on during or before IndooKiJawani?
I did. I had Abir, my director, who's lived there, who knows the language, who's familiar with the lingo, and who also had a very clear image of what he wanted Indu to be, how he wanted her to talk, how he wanted her to pronounce certain words. So his whole idea was, as much as he wants to keep her relatable and real, he wanted her to be easily distinguishable in a crowd. So he's like, I wanted to be like, this is Indu if she's in a crowd. So everything, like he's taken the liberty of pronouncing certain English words very funnily, which I won't give away. You'll instantly see it when you'll hear it when you watch the film. But I think personally, I enjoy accents. So if I hear it a couple of times, I think I can pick it up. It's like every time I went on a holiday, I would come back with the accent. So anywhere I go, I can start. If I talk to you for a couple of more minutes, by the end of this conversation, I may start talking like you, Rishikesh.
What are you saying? This is like, I know a person like that. I know Javed Jafri. He talks to you and then immediately he'll start talking like you. I think that's
I'm
an
going to do
art.
it. By the end of this interview, I'm going to try and do this.
Yeah. So I think you have to have a musical ear, and that's what it's all about there. So Mallika Dua is a hoot on screen. Did you guys spend time off screen? Is she as funny off it? Because I have only the trailer to go by, and your interactions with her are absolutely a laugh riot.
She's amazing. I mean, from the time I heard the narration, I knew that, like, before they could even say Malika Dua was, who they were thinking of to approach for Sonal's character, in my mind, I felt like it was tailor made for her. I actually thought of it before even they mentioned it. And the minute they said it, I was like, no way, I was just going to say Malika Dua. And it's just been, we're actually so lucky to have someone like her, play Sonal, because she's so funny off screen, on screen. She brings so much to the character, and it's hilarious doing scenes with her. I mean, I had to control my laughter in pretty much most of those scenes. So she's as funny as it gets.
And she's very Delhi and she's very straight faced, which is what I love about her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Indu from Ghaziabad gets into dating apps. Everyone's going to be asking you whether you've ever used them. I mean, at least gone through Tinder out of curiosity. Everybody goes through Tinder out of curiosity, even if it's not to find their ideal date.
This is so weird to say that I've never even been curious to go on Tinder. To be honest, to be really, really honest, I
The
have a lot.
men have always flocked around you, Kiara. That's the deal.
I wish not. That's not how it's always been. But I've had so many friends who've been on Tinder, and I would always think it's like just for fun and this and that. Because I'm to. I mean, it sounds very boring to say, but I am somebody who's very one woman and old school romance, and that's
Sure.
what I love. So I thought if on Tinder I'd only be getting swiped left, then not really looking for that kind of thing. And I have friends who've been on Tinder and now married to the people they've met. So I'm like, why not? I mean, that's the new Seema auntie of this generation. So whatever works, basically. But out of curiosity now, I wonder. I don't think if I go as Kiara Advani, it'll work.
Yeah.
But maybe just like go under an alias and see how that plays out.
Yeah. You
I
can't
don't
even
know how
go
it works
under.
at all. So I know only through the film and whatever research I've done, but over above, like beyond that, I don't know.
Yeah. You can't even go by original name. You can't even go
Yeah,
Alia
I don't
Advani.
even know Alia
Everybody
Advani.
knows it.
Would
So,
work.
so just out of my curiosity, what are the top three apps that you use? I mean, WhatsApp, iTunes, what?
WhatsApp, Instagram, and my music app.
Okay, whatever you're using to stream your music.
Yeah.
Great. So, Aditya Seal, it's your first film with him. He seems like an interesting kind of guy. He's learning the guitar. He practices taekwondo. He's certainly good looking. What do you think of him professionally as well as personally?
I think he's a very, very talented actor, and I feel he's gonna get a lot of love for Indu because he really comes like a breath of fresh air in this film. He's very, very, very chilled out, and he's just so comfortable in his own skin, and that's so lovely. And it's nice to see someone who's so confident. I mean, you wouldn't expect too many men to take up a role when you feel like, oh, it's got this female protagonist and all of that. But I think he saw it for the film that it is, and he's got such a superb role in the film, and he plays Summer with so much elan, and you totally root for him as well. So that's what's lovely. So I feel we just got the perfect Summer in Aditya, and I'm so happy for him because I really feel this film is gonna, get him a lot of love.
And the Advanis and the Bhojwani, which is Nikhil, Manisha, and Madhu. They're co-producers on this film. You're half Sindhi. Is there enough Sindhi bonding when you're with them? Also, they're such lovely people, aren't they?
They're lovely people to work with. It really felt like I was like second family at home. They were always on a call for anything. I never even had to call them for. It was one big party. We shot this film, I think, in 28 days, and it's record breaking. Honestly, everything was just went off so smoothly, and we have a whole it's like a cricket team. Our producers are we've got about 5 or 6 producers on this film, and so you can imagine it's one big party when we're all together. So I think, like, if we had to fill up a cinema hall right now, we would be just the immediate cast, crew, and producers, directors. We would be a lot of us. So it was just lovely working with them, honestly.
Yeah, and they're all such distinct characters. I mean, Niranjan is such he's a hoot. Ryan's a particular type. Nikhil, of course, is what he is.
No,
Never
exactly.
done.
We've all got such an interesting perspective and different school of, of filmmaking, of, just, cinema. I mean, Nikhil sir, the movies that we've seen him make have been obviously very different from Indu. So it's so nice to see them back a project like this, to, believe in a script like this. It's like that I won't call it a chick flick, because I do believe that it's beyond that. Like, every single person, whether you're male, female, old, young, everyone would enjoy this film. But it is such a, heartwarming girl film in that sense as well. So it was so nice to see them want to back this film and have so much faith in this project. And I mean, even Niranjan and Ryan. Niranjan was the first person who actually called me up to offer this film, and he said, we want you to come in for a narration. And that's when I met Monisha and Madhu. And it's interesting that everyone has such a fresh perspective, and they've all come in together. So we're so many different minds, but I think the way we all got in sync with the script, and we all went with the right intention, that's probably why the film is made with so much love. So I think when you make it with that kind of love, then there's no stress. We're like, it's all for the audience. Now let's see what happens.
And Lucknow, where you filmed IndooKiJawani, is an interesting place to film if you're a foodie. Did you order any delicacies on the set or go out for a meal when you were there?
I wouldn't dare to, but we did go out for a meal. I would smell the food, sometimes get to taste it while they would force me, but I'd be like, are you crazy? I was shooting non-stop, and I did not want to suddenly have a little bit of a bulge come out from here and there or look swollen on screen. Well, we went to, I'm forgetting the name, but we went to a really, really popular place, right? The Tunde kebabs, and
Ah, tunde
the
kebabs,
food
yes.
was so it's like, I mean, I wish I was there longer. Even the clothes, we went shopping there. You want to get like Lucknowi, the
The
material,
chicken curry
the
work, yeah.
curry. So it's just like, it's beautiful. So all of that was done on every little opportunity and free day that we got. But Lucknow was also an interesting schedule, because I mean, it was where we shot the entire film, but the entire film is based over primarily one night, and that means we were shooting maximum days was a night shift, not day, night shift. But when we reached there, we had a problem where we were infested with some sort of insects, which I cannot remember
Wow.
the name of. But it was literally, I mean, you could not walk. They would, like those fear factors. You see those shows where they have all those insects
And
coming
this is
out.
outdoors, yeah, outdoors.
This was in a house, but there was an angan in the house, so it was open air and stuff like that. But it was impossible to shoot, so they had to cover it up and then kind of cheat day for night and do like a 2 to 2 shift, because suddenly it was like if locusts had to happen then. That's what we were going through in Lucknow. So it was an interesting, like, when we found out, they were like, oh, there are some insects. So we were like, insects must be like a couple of mosquitoes. We reached there, put up a video. I wish I could share it, or show it to you, but it was worse than Fear Factor.
Wow.
What just happened? So it was obviously because it was, I think we were shooting in October or November, so maybe the heat got to it or something. But it was crazy.
No vicious bites or anything.
Luckily not. All came out safe and sound. No one got any malaria. None of that stuff happened. We were all safe and sound. The production took a good, quick, cover up and managed to keep it for that. Yeah.
Your director Abir, very little is known about him other than the fact that his first film was a Bangla film, Kiara. Did you get along well? What's so unique about working with him?
Abir is such a calm and composed person. I don't think I've ever met someone who's so calm. I don't think I ever heard him raise his voice ever on set. I remember the first narration that we had, he literally read out the entire script. And I was like, is he gonna, first I was like, is he gonna read the entire script? Like, how is this gonna work? And I was in splits. He just went like one go and he read it with so much passion. It was almost like I had visualized the entire thing. But he is completely the opposite from what you read, like from from the kind of characters that he's written and all of that. I don't know if it's that, if I don't know him that well as yet to know that side of him, but he's such a calm, composed, clear person. He knows what he wants. He knows his story. He's a fantastic writer. I think he's so talented. He would, even on his off days, he would be writing other scripts or other stories and ideas, and he's a very, very talented writer. And I'm excited for this film for him because you know the passion with which he's written the story, and with which he wants to tell the story, I could see it every day while shooting for it. So I really wish him all the very, very best.
Hey, I see you
I
bake
would
some.
love to Hindu.
Yeah. I see you bake some cookies. I saw a vibrant picture on your Instagram feed. Is that a skill you picked up during lockdown, or have you been baking for a while?
It's all lockdown, the lockdown talents that have come out. I think it gave us all a lot of time to find new things to do. And the health person that I am, I wanted to try, making things that I like to eat, but with a healthy twist. And everything's available on YouTube and Instagram.
It
So
is.
I think every homemaker who was putting up her recipes became like the stars of COVID, because that's all we were doing, watching their recipes and learning how to cook. We didn't have a chef, we didn't have a cook at home. So between my mom, dad, brother, and I, we were making all our meals and sharing it with each other. So all of us somehow managed to learn something new. And that's when I realized I'm so good at not only cookies but cooking Indian food. Like, and when I say Indian food, I mean khichdi, and when I say khichdi, I mean only khichdi.
Oh, so your coup
So
de
I'm
resistance
my
is
food
khichdi.
and I make the best khichdi.
Yeah, but there's a lot to say for that. People don't get that right khichdi. So if
Yeah,
you're getting that, that's great. And what I like about the cookies, because you've done a close up of it, is it's got the right amount of gooey stuff coming out of
yeah.
it, and I love that. It
I'll
can't be
tell
just
you,
plain dry.
I really, it took me a lot of time to perfect those cookies, though. But
Well
I should put up the recipe too.
yeah.
My alternate job now.
You won't need that for a while, considering the number of films you've signed. Listen, a bit about your part, Indu. She seems flirtatious. She seems yet highly dramatic at points in the trailer. Tell me more.
I like that you called her flirtatious and highly dramatic. I think highly dramatic would be more apt. She is a little bit of a shy girl when it comes to romance and love. She's I think the one thing I could connect with her would be this whole old school one woman man, but she has that with a little bit more of a narrow minded perspective. For her, it's like, if I have sex, nobody will marry me. She's that girl, and her friends like, why are you stuck on that? Like, it's 2020, just you know experience life. So she's very opinionated. She's very feisty, and whatever she thinks is what she says. She's got no filters, and somehow she gets away with a lot of stuff. But the story is interesting. The irony of her and Summer meeting is the fact that there's also news for terrorists in Ghaziabad. So she gets confused whether the boy who she's now swiped right, who's in her home, could be that terrorist, that potential terrorist that's on the run. And that's when everything goes haywire and it's one big adventure.
This is a lovely phase, isn't it? I mean, you come off the back of Kabir Singh and Good News in 2019. You're one of the rare performers who are going to have one digital with Lakshmi and one theatrical release in 2020. And you've got films with Varun and Sid coming up. How are you thinking about your career? Sign lots of films when the going is good, or be cautious?
Uh, I, I I don't know if I'm being cautious, or I don't know if that's ever been my attitude when it comes to movies. It's always been very instinctive. Um, I've actually been lucky that I've even gotten opportunities at roles which are different from each other, and that's what's always excited me. Whether it was Kabir Singh, Good News, then Guilty. So there's always been something different from the other, and that's what's been that's why I've wanted to sign those films. So even the films coming up have something different again from what I've played. Am I going to be cautious now? I hope not. I hope not to be, I hope not to lose that instinctiveness that with which I've signed films this far, because I think that's what's also brought me to where I am today. I don't like overthinking. I've never really thought things. I don't think that always helps. Sometimes being too cautious is also not a good thing. So I think for me it's always been going with the flow, and this year's even taught me like live in the present, live every moment. So that's how I've been. That's how I've looked at my career till now, and that's how I want to look at it. Continue going ahead while I sign films.
Let's talk about the songs. They're really banging. Did your high school dance parties ever have Sawan Mein Lag Gayi Aag or by Mika playing, or was that much before your time? Were you familiar with the song before Hasina Pagal Diwani happened?
Oh, absolutely. I was familiar with the song, but you're right. It was a little before my time. But I was familiar with the song. So when I got to know that they were going to, reprise it, I thought it was bang on. And the choreography, everything was so interesting about it. It was so different, and it just totally goes with the film. It's got a girl finally letting loose and letting go, and she doesn't. It's almost like she doesn't give a care for the world right now, and she just wants to have fun. And she's dancing like no one's watching, and I love that about the song. And I love the album that IndooKiJawani has, because each song is really different from the other. We've got Hile Toot Gayi, which was a promotional number that we shot, which was a lot of high fashion and styling, and we had two insane rappers come together. We had Badshah and Guru Randhawa, and now the next song that's coming out is again something which we've not seen in Hindi cinema for a while. It's a retro song. It's called Dil Tera. It's out tomorrow. And we go back into like the 50s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. So we're doing 4 eras. And it's interesting because, we're literally jumping from one era to the other, wearing amazing, interesting looks. And the dances are amazing. The song is a foot tapping number as well. And then there's a single lady song, which is the perfect girl song right now. So I think the album in itself is peppy. It's good for the time that the film's out, because it's a celebration mode right now. It's
Yeah.
December, New Year's is around the corner. There's lots of weddings happening. So I think that's probably also why each of these songs are getting picked up so fast, because we have the occasions finally to actually wear those heels and get out with our masks, though. But why not?
And I've got to come back to Hile Toot Gayi. There's Badshah singing, but not Badshah in the video, but Guru Randhawa featuring in the video for Hile Toot Gayi. That's actually quite a cool idea. Was it Bhushan Kumar from T Series' idea? Nikhil Advani's idea?
I think nobody knows how to do the music better than Bhushan Kumar. So it was all him.
And these four looks you're talking about, what would be your favorite look? Are you doing like a 60s, bouffant kind of thing?
There's one Rangila look, which is me as Urmila. There is a disco look, which we have to do. But I think the 60s before was one of my favorite. And there's one which is similar to the Kashmir ki Kali look that
Mrs.
Sharmila,
Tagore. Yeah,
yeah,
Mrs. Tagore had. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
inspired from by her. So
Beautiful.
I think these four looks have been very different and very cool. And like I said, after a really long, I think the last time I saw a song like this was from Dil Chahta Hai. When
Ah, the one with Sonali and Saif.
yeah, it was so much fun, and it's just so lovely to go back to some retro. So
Nice. So, what are you listening to apart from Hile Toot Gayi, Hasina Pagal Diwani? What's on your phone music-wise? Are you a Bollywood person, R&B, international pop person, dance music person? What's on your phone?
it's a random mix of stuff. I'm in Chandigarh right now shooting for my next film, so there's a lot of Punjabi music on my phone. There's a lot of B Prak on my phone. I love his music, and
Yeah.
it's also going with the vibe of the film I'm shooting. So I have this habit to, hear songs that are in the same space and mood as the character
Wow.
scenes or what I'm shooting right now. And then there are random. Then it goes to like Jerusalem, which I really love, which released this year. So it's an interesting mix of everything, not just Bollywood, but a little bit, of R&B and B and everything.
I mean, now you're back to full-fledged work, but any series you binge watched, really loved during lockdown? Any super film you saw that you could suggest to us?
So many. I absolutely loved Patal Lok. I'm being meaning to watch Scam. The whole world is talking about it, and I'm excited to watch Scam 92. I also watched Defending Jacob, which was another very interesting TV show that I watched. And yeah, I think there's so much. There's so much out there right now. And movie, I would just want to like plug in IndooKiJawani.
Yeah. Listen, before I go, I've got to ask you about that gorgeous painting to your left. I
I'm in
mean,
a hotel room.
it's just lovely. I mean, oof. What I was saying was normally when Kiara Advani is in a frame, you don't look at anything or anybody else. But I was just looking for a fleeting moment at that resplendent color. Listen, all the best. I can't wait to see Indu Ki Jawani. You're lovely and hope to see you soon in person. Stay safe and healthy.
You too. Thank you so, so much. It's lovely talking to you.
Bye.
Bye.